a new group that I've kind of formed just after I have personally read the book, Girl, Wash Your Face. So hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get my screen up here, and then I'm gonna click record, and we're gonna go. Okay, there it is. All right. Share screen. Here we go. All right, my desktop is a disaster, as you guys can probably see. If you're joining over the phone, I will put these slides into the event that you have. I'll also be emailing them out so you guys can check them out. But let me go ahead and get my book out, because I actually, like I said to Lindsay at the beginning of the call, and I think it's so appropriate that this actually happened tonight. We actually didn't know the hockey schedule and assumed his tournament was this weekend. And their first game was this evening. And I had this call ready to go, and he was like, we'll be able to make it home. And I walked into the door, and I was like, that's exactly how this group is going to be. You know, I read this book a couple of months ago, and it's something that I've been referring to other people, friends, family members, just as a book you just need to get through life. There is so much in there that is about, yes, it's about nutrition, and there's some health, and there's some fitness, and there's some of her story about how those things came to matter. But what I really love about this book is that every girl can kind of like raise her hand and say, me too. I've been there. I totally get it. And I think there's a power in that community, in feeling like other people have kind of been where you are, or have like walked the journey that you feel like you're kind of on. And so one of those things that I really was kind of stewing in my mind and thinking about was how busy this time of year is. And I think of the holidays, yes, and I think of how fast October, November, December go, but there's something about September that makes it almost completely transitional. And it makes it kind of hard for you to say, I need to put some time into me before the hustle and the bustle of the holidays, and you've just gotten done with summer, and maybe you're like me, and your kids have been home, and they've been at each other's throats, or maybe you just have not had time to just have a little time for you. And so little by little, as you start pouring into everybody else, you stop focusing on you. So those goals that you set for yourself, maybe to lose a couple pounds, or those goals you set for yourself to take a class with your friend once a week, or to go get coffee, or, you know, I was joking with a friend earlier this week, and I was like, can we just go get pedicures instead? And it's just like, life doesn't work like that unless you actually start making it work that way. So I'm just gonna really quickly sort of introduce myself, because I kind of stepped over that. I am Katie. I am 35 years old. I'm a mom of 2 boys. And I'm married to my college sweetheart, Mike. We live in Pittsburgh, around Pittsburgh. And we are a couple who is always on the go. My husband coaches hockey. I coach full time. I do some work for nonprofits, and I am in the process of starting to write a book. And this afternoon, oddly enough, I was sitting in a room with my therapist, because yes, admittedly, I totally go to therapy. And I just said to her, you know, I have all these things in my head, right? And I have all these ideas, and everything is kind of running around in my head, and I have all of these notepads, and then I just have no energy left to actually pour into the book. It's something that I really want to do, and I have no energy left to do it. And she kind of took a step back, or she kind of sat back in her chair a little bit, and she said, what makes you think that you can keep going at the speed that you go? And it was one of those intentional pauses that I think we all need in our life. And so here I am with you, along with you, to say that this is not me just coaching you. And yes, I've been coaching women in their health and fitness journey for over 6 years, but this is also me doing this for me, and knowing that I also need a community of people who are going to be right alongside me. And so this particular group, and I'll kind of just skip ahead, is really focused on you drawing a line in the sand and saying, I need to do this for me. I deserve to do this for me, and I want something more for me. And here's the thing, when you really want something, when you know in your heart you want something that's meaningful, okay, so I'm just gonna classify that as meaningful. If you want something meaningful in your life, there is likely going to be some sacrifices that need to be made in order for those things to happen. It's that idea of the short-term sacrifice and the long-term gratification. And sometimes those short-term sacrifices need to be made. So right now, it's time for you to kind of, while we're on this call, start thinking about, what am I willing to sacrifice? What are some of the vices that I have in my own life? And I should share with you that we are going to do, as part of this, what's called a 30-day challenge of giving up a vice. And I thought back to about 2 years ago at a conversation I had with my friend where she made me realize the addiction that I was personally struggling with at the time with sugar. And so I explained to her that a lot of times in my job, I work a lot of evenings. And that just tends to be what I do because that's when people are on social media. And I was telling her, you know, like every night I would end my work, I would have done great all day with nutrition, I would be nailing it. And then without even really thinking, I would go to the snack cabinet and I would just start eating. And I would eat sugar, and I would eat fruit snacks, and I would eat Peeps, and I would then look and be like, why am I not losing any weight? And so she said, have you ever thought about the fact that maybe, Katie, you are going to the snack cabinet because you actually want a reward for the work that you just did? And so she said, you know, it's really just that your addiction to sugar has always been just your need to feel like you deserve it, like your reward, like your pat on the back. And so when you think about the vices in your life, it's not necessarily that you enjoy those things, but you feel the need for those things. For example, if you have that Diet Coke addiction, or you have that I have to eat carbs, or I need that margarita in the evening, or maybe I need a cigarette because I just, you know, I deserve it. And really starting to get in touch with your vices. And maybe it's not food or alcohol, but maybe it's other things like putting yourself down. Or you look in the mirror in the morning and immediately it is picking out the things that you feel like you could be better at or you could look better at. Or maybe it's an unhealthy relationship that you have created with the scale. Or maybe there's just a relationship that you have or something that you've been avoiding. But whatever that vice is, this is the group that's going to start for you to start getting in touch with that and confronting it and starting to deal with that. And I know for me, I know that it's not a 30-day and done. It is something that once you have the tools to learn it and figure it out, you just get better at coping with it. So that is part of what we're doing, but I really have to reiterate that you have to understand first and foremost, you're worthy of this. You know, I feel so strong about this idea that so many people walk around like thinking that they don't matter. They try to matter to everybody else, and then they look at themselves and they don't feel like they matter to themselves. And so this is the type of group that's going to make you go like, I need to start acting like I matter, because once you start acting like it, you start to see it and you really do start to believe it. She's probably like, oh my gosh, that's me. All right, so first of all, I gotta give a little shout out to our girl right here who is on the phone with us. But there's just a couple of things that I wanted to share with you of what you can expect. So how this is going to be broken down. So first of all, like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time. I've run different type of groups. I ran a group last year using the book Made to Crave. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. And I also do acclimate my customers with 2 types of nutritional plans, which I'll talk about, and we'll find the one that works best for you. But here's what you can expect. I run all of my groups privately. And so by privately, I mean the only people that can see are the people who are actually in the group. And I am the leader in the group, but like I said, I am also somebody who is on the journey with you. So I am also somebody who's posting, who's sharing, who's working out, who's following a meal plan, who's focused on her own goals. So she is in the trenches with you. And so there are a couple areas that we're going to focus on. First of all, the whole week of August 26th is going to be what we call either a preseason or a warm-up week. You might hear me kind of use both terms. But during that first week, there's a couple things that we really focus on. Number one, getting acclimated to what the meal plan looks like. Number two, grocery shopping. We're gonna go over tools and tips and strategies to actually, go to the grocery store to pick out foods that are going to be really good, really filling, really flavorful, but also really good for you. So we're gonna talk about like what's the difference between looking at low fat, low carb, no sugar, sugar-free versus wholesome food. And we're going to talk about how you have to actually shop the parameter of the grocery store, and that is going to be our primary focus. And then we're going to talk about taking your measurements, and that's something that I've noticed in the past that people really shy away from. They don't want to take those before pictures. They don't want to do the measurements, and sometimes that comes down to they don't want to own where they are. I want to touch on that for just a minute because I really think that's key. The pictures are not about publicly posting them and sharing them, and I certainly will never do that unless you give me permission. And many times people come back and they're like, girl, shout it out. I'm so proud of myself. The before is for you to say no more. The before is for you to say, I am invested in this. The before is for you to say, I am drawing a line in the sand and I am making an investment in me, in my time, because I know that I am worthy of it. And I want to look back at this and say, oh my gosh, look at how far that I have come. And so we're going to go over how to take the pictures, how to take the measurements. We're going to talk about building your routine. And in your first week, you're going to get the Elimination Experience PDF. And we're going to talk about just eliminating certain things from your life that might not have anything to do with food, but it might have a lot to do with that frame of mind. A lot of Girl Wash Your Face is about who and what you are surrounded by on a regular basis. The company you keep is like the person that you are becoming. And so I think about that all the time. I think about who do I want to be around? And as you start to grow in this experience, you start to realize you can't always go back. And sometimes that's really, really scary because you might be really comfortable where you are. But this is about breaking out of some of those comfort zones and coming to terms with some of the things that you thought and have held on to for so long because you thought you needed it. But we're going to find ourselves through this process, through this 30-day journey. Together in preseason, we're also going to focus on a fitness program that is going to work for you. Now, I am pretty flexible about this. I'm gonna give you suggestions from the catalog of workouts that we have, but I also am completely aware that some people are like, Katie, I really, really love walking, or I really want to just do a couch to 5K, and I'm flexible with it as long as we have a plan in place. We're also going to go over the study guide that's going to be provided for the Girl Wash Your Face Challenge. So that's all going to happen the very first week before we even get started. If you guys want to start your own journey and take your pictures and get started on your fitness routine the week of preseason, you can totally do that, absolutely. But we officially start the 30-day journey. It's going to kick off on September 3rd. So it is a Monday. It's a holiday weekend in the United States, but we're going to start that day. We're going to focus because this isn't necessarily about, starting on a Monday. This is about starting for you, whether it's convenient or it's not convenient. So we're going to start on September 3rd. And the group, I think, is going to run from September 3rd to October 1st. It might be October 2nd. I'm not sure if I have my dates completely right. But that is what you can expect during those breakouts, okay? So what else I want to kind of describe to you is what to expect within the group. So like I said, you are going to be part of a private community. And in that private community, no one is able to see your posts. Nobody is able to, it's not a public group on Facebook. It's private. So the only people who will see it are the members of the community. And the members of the community, you are going to receive the following. You're going to receive a simplified meal plan. You and I together, once you enroll, that first week, we're going to say, all right, do I want to follow the portion system that Katie recommends? It comes with Beachbody On Demand. Or would I rather focus on the program To Be Mindset that is a different nutritional plan? Either one, we'll talk through, we'll decide what's going to be best for you and your goals. So we're going to decide on the meal plan that you are following. We'll also go over some of those recipes. We'll go over different meal plans, options, and how to really focus on going to the grocery store with a plan in place. I also want to emphasize here for 1 minute that when you actually strategize and plan out your grocery shopping, you actually save money. I know before I ever did any of this, I would go to the grocery store and I would be like, I don't know what I need. And I would just grab things. Has anyone ever like caught themselves doing that and be like, oh, I might need this. And then before you know it, you have like 10 lean cuisines or like 6 pizzas in your cart and you're like, but I might need them. We're gonna talk about really being proactive before you get into the grocery store to make sure you are really, really set. We're also going to select an at-home workout, as I mentioned before, but everyone within the group is going to be doing a workout of some sort. I realize 100% that you might be saying, Katie, like I haven't worked out in a year, or I've taken the entire summer out, or I don't even know where to start. The programs range from beginner to intermediate to advanced. You do not have to do the same workouts as your neighbor, your girlfriend in this group. It can be whatever workout that you think is going to fit best for your needs. Remember too, nutrition is the key. Fitness is great. It's good for your heart. It's good for your mind. It's good for just your body overall. And I highly, highly recommend just sweating out just the toxins that are in your system, whether it's, in your emotions or just your digestive system. It's really a great thing to sweat. But when we're talking about actually losing the weight, our focus first is on nutrition. That is the bulk of where you're going to see your results, is just making these tweaks with your nutrition. And I gotta be honest, a lot of it is just knowledge. A lot of times we just don't know where to start, or we just assume that if it says diet, it's good for you. If it says no fat or fat-free, it's good for you. And it's really, there's an educational piece that I wanna make sure that we talk about. The third thing that we'll go over in preseason 2 is the Elimination Experience PDF. And I think I have it here. I do. And so there's a couple of things that go into this, but I'm just going to share a few of them. This is one of my favorite things that I've created all year. There is just everything from small win mindsets to miracle morning affirmations to self-reflection to prep, meal preps. All of that kind of stuff, just ideas of things that you can do. I also have like a really great sleep tracker, because you'd be surprised how much better we function when we get enough sleep. So I talk about that in there as well. You're gonna get the Girl Wash Your Face chapter study guide, which we'll go over during that preseason. I think probably around Thursday or Friday we'll go over it. You'll get that private accountability and community. You'll also get daily mentorship. Like I said, I am in there every day with you. There's going to be a couple other coaches in there as well who are going to be like helping out. And then I'm also really, really excited to share that I am going to do a weekly focus call. If you can't be on live, I try to be flexible with my time, but I realize I can't fit everybody's schedule. So that call is going to take place every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, and it will focus on a portion of the book, and then there'll be a call to action for you to go out for the week and really focus on your goals for the week. That's going to take place on Wednesdays, 12 o'clock. If you can be on live, great. If not, you can listen to the recording, and you can still do the calls to action as well. There are also going to be weekly challenges. There's going to be a lot of giveaways. There's going to be a lot of other suggestions, blog posts, showing you live videos of how to prep, and then I'll also throw some really fun challenges in there as well. So you are going to get all of that with the Girl Wash Your Face challenge, all right? So, and these are just a couple of transformations. That is actually mine. I have to laugh though. I came across this picture and I looked at it and I was like, what is going on with my necklace in that picture? Because it looks like it is all wrapped around my boobs. And I'm not really sure what's happening in there. But that is my before and after. It was actually taken when I was 22. So that was well before Beachbody, after college, right before I got married. And I was really, really unhappy. And I went up and down until recently. So that was me. Another picture, my girl, Sarah Beth and Paxton. Both of them have hit the 50-pound mark. And I'm so proud of both of them. They're both absolutely amazing people. And so I wanted to share those with you guys to show you that this is what they're doing. This is what they're following. And you're no different. you know? All right, so, okay, so now expectations. Okay, so what do you need to do to get to your goal? So first of all, we gotta close the gap, right? So we have this picture and this vision of where we wanna be. So maybe in our minds, we're like, I really wanna lose 10 pounds. I really wanna lose 20 pounds. I really wanna, I really wanna like just, get healthier. I really want you to dig deeper than that. I really want you to start picturing like what it would feel like, what it would look like, the emotion that you would attach to actually achieving your goal. What would it be like to have more energy to play with your kids? What would it be like to actually be able to put on your jeans and not worry about if they're gonna zip because you just know they are? What would it be like to walk in your closet and be like, I am never going back there, so I'm throwing away all of my tight jeans or my loose jeans, and you just throw it all away and you just kind of brush your hands of it and say, this is my future, like this is where I'm going. And my job tonight is kind of to remind you that you can close that gap from where you are to where you want to be, because all it takes is action. It takes decision and action. And so your decision on whether you want to do this or not is going to either bring you one step closer to getting there, or it's going to be just one day further from where you want to be. I don't know if that makes sense, and I hope I worded it right, but I just keep thinking about that. All it is decision and commitment. Decision and commitment. And in order to make a decision, you have to know you're worthy of it. You have to know you matter enough to make the decision. And so here are your expectations, what I expect from you, because I love you so much, but I can't do it for you. I can do it with you. I can be there every step of the way, but I can't do it for you. And so the expectation is that you are going to commit to a simplified meal plan and your daily superfoods. I would love to give you some more information about the superfoods. The superfoods are nutrient dense. It is considered a meal replacement. It is going to be the one good meal a day that you don't have to think about. If you are busy meal planning and prepping and trying to figure out this clean eating thing, the superfood shake is going to be a way for you to have that one meal a day that you do not have to think about. Also, when we're talking about long-term goals, when we're talking about weight loss, when you start actually drinking Shakeology, when you start actually putting those nutrients into your system, and you're cutting calories otherwise, because that's what you're going to do when you lose weight, you're going to cut calories. When you get the nutrients that you need, even if you're cutting the calories, your body understands that it's getting what it needs. And so it promotes long-term weight loss goals. I have been drinking this for 6 years. There's, of course, other benefits, my digestion, my energy level, and also just at full disclosure, when you're putting vitamins into your body, when you're putting nutrients into your body, you're not gonna get as sick as you maybe otherwise would. And you're gonna commit to it for 30 days, and you're gonna track it. You're gonna track how you feel day 1, day 2, week 2, week 3, week 4 by implementing this into your system. You're going to commit to the Vice Challenge, which I talked about a little bit before, but the Vice Challenge is really, really going to be like that 30-day commitment to letting go of one thing that kind of scares you to let go of a little bit. I don't know what it is for you, but it should be something that you attach yourself to because you feel like it's filling a void. So for me, it's processed sugar. I know that processed sugar is the one thing that I turn to when I feel like I am trying to make up a need. And we'll talk about what it looks like to actually take a Vice Challenge. What would it mean if for 30 days you can commit to giving up that Diet Coke? Or what would it mean if you were able to, before bed, maybe you have that red glass of wine every night before bed. If you're doing it for comfort, it's not ever gonna fill the void, okay? It can't console what you're really craving. And so we're gonna commit to that Vice Challenge. We're gonna read Girl Wash Your Face, of course, on our own, but we're also gonna do it as a big group. And we're gonna also take notes, and we're gonna really focus on highlighting the book. I can't find my book, but I know it's here somewhere. We're gonna highlight the book. We're gonna annotate. We're gonna like really jot down, she is speaking to me, and we're gonna share the book with other people. And maybe you're thinking, I wanna do this group with someone, and I challenge you to do that too. I challenge you to share this call when the recording is up with somebody who you think would love to do this with you. We are going to be a troop of women who are going to support one another. There is a no man left behind mentality when you get into this. It is not just you doing your thing. It is you meeting the other girls within this group virtually, and you guys are like cheering each other on. You are rooting for each other. When somebody has their like, I just dropped 2 pounds, you shout them out. When somebody is like, I'm having a rough day, you give them what you need. If somebody says drop a GIF or a GIF or whatever you want to call it, you like pick the best one you find, because the more you put in, the more you receive. The more you put into this type of group, the more you're going to get out of it. And I can't emphasize that enough, because community is everything. You know, on Instagram today, I actually posted this picture I was thinking about when I was a kiddo. I was really like, I was an overweight kid. And my best friend from middle school, and we grew up next door to each other, she knew that this was a struggle of mine, right? And so she would just like come to my house, and we would put on like Ty Bo, Billy Blanks, Jane Fonda. She always brought the Jane Fonda because that was her mom's thing. My mom loved Richard Simmons. And we would put on these videos, and we would mute them, and we would just listen to TLC Waterfalls. But the thing that's interesting about that is I did it because I knew she was going to show up, and she was going to be like, I brought my Jane Fonda. And I would be like, I guess we're working out now. And that accountability matters, like showing up every day for you, yes, but because there's a group of women who are like knowing that you're showing up for them. All right. So I really want to emphasize that accountability. You're going to follow the workout program that you've selected. And also too, that's kind of a private conversation you and I can have as well, with what you think you want to do. Couch to 5K, a Beachbody on Demand workout. You know, maybe what I'm doing, you lift, you like cardio. You want to pick something that kind of challenges you a little bit. The majority of the workouts on BOD are incredibly modifiable, aside from your old school insanity, but most of them are modifiable. And so even if you're like, I don't think I can do that, you follow the modifier and you challenge yourself. You're going to show up every day, you're going to do your best, and you're going to end the day saying, I did something that mattered. I did something for me, and I matter. And those are the expectations of you. So let's talk about how you're actually going to enroll with this. Number one, if you are already working with me, you might already have what you need. If that is the case, you just need to say, Katie, sign me up. We'll get you set up. But what you need to do, if you are not yet enrolled with me, or maybe you were at one point and you're like, I need to re-enroll, I haven't done this in quite some time. Number one, we're going to sign up with the kit of your choice. All of the kits are going to include superfoods, nutritional support, and then it's also a 1-year membership to Beachbody On Demand. And it is going to cost $160. Again, that's 1 year of BOD and your first month of your superfoods. The superfoods, you can change flavors, you can modify your order at any point. And then if you want to add on a couple other options, I love my pre-workout, I love my post-workout, you can do that as well. You also then are going to purchase Girl Wash Your Face. If you are going to be enrolling tonight, I am going to purchase that for you. Tonight or tomorrow, I am going to purchase that for you. So if you purchase the kit, I am going to do that for you. Reach out to me and let me know that you want to reserve your spot. 8 of the 10 spots for new enrollees are still open. So I have 8 spots left. If you are already somebody that I call stuck with me, Ashley Dawn Johnson, I don't know if she's on this call tonight, but Ashley was like, hi, you just keep saying I'm stuck with you, so I just keep showing up. And I was like, I know, you just get stuck with me after a while. So if you're already somebody who is rocking the groups and everything, this is just a shift and a change of what we're doing, and I'm so excited for it. Not that what we aren't doing is great, but I just like to spice it up from time to time. So if you're already enrolled with me, you're set. You just need to make sure you want in and let me know. But if you need to enroll, this is what you need to do. Reach out to me and let me know that you're all in. Select and purchase your kit. I'll send you the direct link. You're going to either purchase your Girl Wash Your Face book, or you're just gonna send me the address if you're gonna order within the next 24 hours. And then you're gonna send me a message as soon as you are signed up, and we will get you enrolled. And then my last step for you, and I really, really wanna encourage it too, because I don't know, I think that anytime I love something and something's really working well for me, I wanna share it. And so if you have any friends or people in your life that you think, dang, they would love this group, like this is totally right up their alley, invite them. I totally do referral programs, and we can talk about that as well. But there's just one more thing that I want to mention, and I don't know if you guys want a screenshot, or if you just, if you kind of know how to enroll, just send me a message. I can help you out with that part. Is just, let's own it, right? I asked you at the beginning of this call to kind of create that vision of where you want to be. Where do you want to be in 30 days? Where do you want to be in 3 months? Where do you want to be next year at this time? And I'm not just talking about weight. I am talking about your cup. I'm talking about you actually saying, I am going to fill my cup. I am going to make sure that the first thing that I focus on is me. The first thing that I do every day is fill my cup with the things that make me feel good. Whether that's journaling, reading your Bible, or it is drinking a cup of coffee before the world wakes up. You know, I can't tell you enough how much this has changed my life in the past 6 years, but it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but change has to start somewhere. And nobody is going to want it more than you. And no one can fight for it but you. But you will have an army of people who are fighting along your side. So guys, with that being said, I am gonna stop the share for a minute. If you have any questions, go ahead and either unmute or put them in the chat bar. And I'll click stop now.